and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sherry, would you swear everyone in, please?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we need to elect our officers. So I want to know who has any nominees for chairman.
You.
I'll stay out of that one.
I'll second that.
Yes, you.
Great. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. I'm still chairman. Vice chairman. Any nominees for vice chairman?
What's that feller's name?
This guy here?
Yeah.
I'll second.
I nominate Newton. Yep.
I'll second it. Yep.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. You're still vice chairman. Congratulations. Okay. Adoption minutes from last month's meeting. Anyone have any changes?
I'll move that we adopt the minutes as is.
I'll second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Motion carries. And staff, how about any deletions or additions to today's agenda?
Request for notice of assessment, item 1A, case 14 CE 5293 is being removed from the agenda. Property is in compliance. Fine has been paid. Thank you.
You said 5293?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Which one was it? 5293.
Item 5A1.
5A1 is not 293.
Yeah.
5C.
5C1A.
5C1A.
5C1A. Okay. Any others?
Jimmy's Tree Service.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as changed.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Excuse me. Okay. We've got evidentiary hearings today. Case number 14-CE-5254 from last month's meeting. Not here. Okay. What?
He has paid his mitigation costs up to this point. He has not paid his citation. It was my understanding he was to be here today to request a reduction, but he's not here.
Okay. Well, because he's not here, Mr. Clement, question for you. At this point, couldn't we move forward with?
Well, let me inquire of the clerk. He was sent a notice of this hearing.
Yes.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Let's give the gentleman a chance. He's 4 minutes late. Could we move this to the end of the meeting?
I think that's a
and
great
give him
idea.
a couple of minutes?
That's a good idea. Let's
Fine
do
with
that.
me.
Let's table this then until the end of the meeting. Okay, case numbers for board orders. This is case number 14-CE-5128, Acacia Treasure Coast, LLC.
This case came before the board in November of 2014. The board did a continuing penalty of $50 a day. The civil penalty on the initial violation was paid, and the board granted us enforcement costs. The violation is not cured. Asking for a board order today, please.
Okay, I make a motion. We find that there is a violation and that the board issue an order for $50 per day continuing penalties. Is that right?
That's
Continuing?
what you found at the November meeting, that the penalties accrue daily.
Oh, we did.
Well, there was a notice of assessment, and there's still been no correction and no payment.
Right.
Correct.
And it's not.
Payment of the initial civil penalty.
Okay.
Are the microphones on? Because
We're having
can't
trouble
hear
hearing
anybody.
over here.
How about me?
Can't hear you.
I can hear you. I just can't hear this young lady's voice.
Okay.
No, maybe if you just move the microphone a little bit closer to you.
So you say that this case, this is still in violation. Is that what you said?
The violation has not been cured, correct?
Okay. So we need to.
So this would be if
Yes, sir.
It'd be a finding that it's still in violation, and you'd assess the initial $50, which is paid, and the continuing penalty of $50 per day. This wasn't a repeat, right?
Correct.
Correct.
It'd be, and plus the court costs, the enforcement costs.
Which were what? The enforcement?
5648.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion. We find that this is still in violation, that the initial $50 penalty was paid, but that we assess a $50 per day penalty to continue, and excuse me, and that the violator pay the cost of enforcement of $56.48.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Case number 14-CE-5351, Joseph P. Schlitt and Joseph F. O'Neill.
Requesting a board order for case 14 CE 5351. The violators Joseph P. Schlitt and Joseph F. O'Neill were cited for a sign violation on December 3rd, 2014 for a for sale sign placed on the right-of-way at 2216 Atlantic Boulevard. Service of the citation was provided by return receipt on December 6, 2014. No request for a hearing on the citation has been received, so a hearing to contest the citation has been waived and the violation is deemed admitted by the violator. The violation has been corrected as of December 18, 2014. The civil penalty for a repeat violation of $100 assessed on the citation has not been paid. Requesting enforcement cost of $46.86 and the continuing penalty. Affidavit of cost is on file with the clerk.
So moved.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
Not so fast. There was no notice of assessment yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the only thing the board's going to be ordering paid is the $100 penalty plus the costs.
I don't think the $100 was paid.
The $100 was not paid.
Right.
The property's
Right.
in compliance.
That's what they're ordering, to pay that
Right.
plus the costs.
Correct.
Okay, that's what you need. It's not a continuing penalty.
Okay. Well, I find that the violation has been corrected, but that the penalty of $100 plus the cost of enforcement of $46.86 needs to be paid.
And I will put that in the form of a motion.
Thank you. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. This is for case number 14-CE-5358, Shane Reynolds and Dale Sorensen Real Estate.
Requesting a board order for case 14 CE 5358. The violator, Shane Reynolds, a real estate agency with Dale Sorensen Real Estate, was cited for a sign violation, a for sale sign placed on the right-of-way at 877 22nd Street. Service of the citation was provided by UPS Tracking on 12/17/15. No request for a hearing on the citation has been received, so a hearing to contest the citation has been waived and the violation is deemed admitted by the violator. The violation has been corrected as of December 18, 2014, and the civil penalty was paid yesterday, January 13th of 15. Enforcement costs of $44.46 are requested by the city.
I'll make a motion that there was a violation, it's been corrected, and the civil penalty's been paid, and that the board issue an order for payment of the cost of prosecution of $44.46.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
I'd just like to make a note. The reason that real estate signs were is Tom received a complaint of 4 pages of sign violations for real estate signs, so we have done a sweep of real estate signs on the right-of-way,
So we have more of these coming?
possibly.
Okay, good. It was a short meeting.
Somebody has too much time. We're not done yet.
We're not? That's all I have.
Oh,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a short meeting, and we're already back to the violation for Daniel Corey Martin, and he's not here. So I'm going to go back to my original question to Mr. Clement, and that would be, since we gave him the 30 days to come back and speak with us about what he and Tim have talked about, and he's not here, where shall we take this?
It's up to the board. I mean, he was given notice of the hearing, and I know he's been in contact with code enforcement, so
We can issue
it's
a
the board's
notice of
pleasure.
assessment.
You can go ahead and adjudicate the case. You already found him, you found him guilty last meeting, and just continued for him to work out the mitigation with with code enforcement, and I believe he's done that, right?
Correct, he has. He paid it in full.
Okay.
He's paid?
Do you want to explain to the board what that entailed? What did he end up paying?
He ended up paying $5,417 for the trees that he had cut down. He has not paid for the citation or my costs in this case.
What were your costs?
$48.32. Citation was $2,050.
And that's
He had
for
spoken with me prior to this meeting, asking me if I would support his request for a reduction. And I indicated that I would, since he paid the mitigation costs. However, he also indicated that time he'd be here at this meeting, so I'm not entirely sure where we go from here.
Well, and we're also back, I mean, he paid the majority, the biggest part of all these fines combined, he's paid.
Correct.
Which is great. So it's a matter of if we want to keep the $2,050 penalty at that amount or not. And
Well, to me, it was a matter of whether or not we could reduce it without his formally asking.
the board can, on its own initiative, do that, or at your request, or you could oppose it, or however you want to deal with it. What were your costs involved?
It's $48.32 in the $50 citation. The $2,000 was the tree. The $50 was the act.
How cooperative has this guy
So
been?
how'd that go again?
Well, it's so much. The penalty is so much per tree.
Correct.
Okay. And how many trees were involved to get to the 2,050?
8 trees at $250 each.
I got you.
So the $5,000, sorry I'm not following, but the $5,000 was for?
It was the mitigation. He had
For the
an
tree
option
permit,
to
basically.
either pay into the fund for the city and or replace the trees that he took out. He priced it and found that it was more advantageous to pay into the fund.
And just so you know, what that fund is for, the city uses that money to plant trees, basically,
Okay.
where the city chooses to place them.
I have a couple of questions in that regard. The pictures that we received last month showed stumps. What is going to be resolved on those stumps? They staying there? They're going to be pulled out? Where do we go from here?
He's been cleaning up the lot. He's been pulling them out. He's just doing it on the weekend, so it's taken a while, but he's cleaning it up.
Okay.
Has he been very cooperative?
Yes.
Very?
Yeah, he's not, I mean, obviously he wasn't overly happy with the fines, but he has been agreeable.
Mr. McGarry, did you have, could I ask you to step up to the podium?
I've been sworn in, so.
Did you have any conversation with Mr. Martin after our meeting here?
Yes, we met about it. We were going to arrange a schedule that he could pay for the mitigation over a period of time, but he had some options. He went out and looked at replacing the trees. That was too expensive, so he decided just to pay the mitigation. He also got the permit, basically, for after the fact for cutting the trees down, so he's completely in compliance now. And I told him at that time we would support a reduction in the fee since we think he's been penalized. He certainly got the message that he would just pay the $50, the $50 initial civil citation or penalty, as well as our administrative costs. And he gets a freebie because I didn't put an affidavit in for my costs. But I think he's learned his lesson. I don't understand why he's not here. I hadn't talked to him after he came and paid. I thought he would be here. So
Okay, great.
But we don't have a problem if you want to make that decision today. It just
Do you have a dollar recommendation?
yes, it would be the $50 plus whatever the affidavit is for costs.
Okay,
And
great. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, Mr. McGarry, does he also, he had to pay double the normal fee for the permit?
Yes, he did, which is not a lot. I mean, it's like $40 or something like that.
Right. Well, thank you.
He's got a question.
No, I mean, from what I hear from the gentleman is that he's been cooperative. I think some kind of reduction is in order, and I will throw out divided by 2.
Okay, and it sound and if, unless I heard you incorrectly, Mr. McGarry, it sounds to me like the conversation you had with him was if he were to comply with the mitigation fees, that you or staff would ask for an elimination of the penalty, the $2,050 penalty.
Well, no, the additional penalties were for individual trees have racked from $200 to $500 a tree. I think that's where that total came to. Well, I'm just talking about the initial thing, with the understanding that he came into compliance and all that. We don't have a problem. I mean, whatever you choose to do, but I mean, it's really up to you. We just, if you wanted to reduce it to what our recommendation, that'd be fine. I mean, the gentleman isn't here to.
Right.
So I feel awkward, as Tom does, trying to speak for him.
But both of you agree that a reduction would be
Yes, I think a
acceptable.
reduction, certainly, some reduction in order would be
I repeat,
reasonable.
I would divide
I
that
too.
by 2 and cut it in half.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
my
that would be
I
a
think that's a little excessive after he's already paid
the 5,000. Well, that's why we're all here.
Well, that's what I was trying to clarify.
I mean,
with
that's
Mr.
what
McGarry.
that's what staff is recommending, is that we reduce it basically up the $50 original civil penalty and the cost of prosecution, which would be less than $100 total.
That's what I was trying to clarify. What they had agreed to support was a $50 penalty and the cost of.
That's
48.
correct.
Okay.
That's what I
was
said.
asking.
I told him I would support that at this hearing.
Okay, well, if that's what you had talked with him about, then I'm going to
Right.
support that as well and say that we should only, I'd remove the fact that I just seconded that motion.
If you want, if you want to withdraw your second, do you want to withdraw your motion?
I would like a point of clarification on where we stand right now.
So basically, what they've told Mr. Martin is that if he complied with their request, which was the 5,000 some odd dollars, that they would recommend that we take all the other penalties away except for the initial $50 and the cost of prosecution, which is $48.32.
To be honest with you, if he couldn't pay all that right up front, we would have probably done something like a reduction like you're talking about. Just since he's paid it all up front and got his permit, we felt more comfortable. I think he's learned his lesson. In fact, I said, don't you touch any trees until you come down here. And I think he learned a lesson.
So basically, the total would be $98.32.
All right. Based upon what the two gentlemen have to say, I will certainly withdraw my motion.
Great, and I'll make a new motion that the violation has been corrected, but that the civil penalty of $50 and the cost of prosecution of $48.32 still stands and needs to be paid by Mr. Martin.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much. And that'll adjourn our meeting.
Wait, I have a question. I noticed here that the rate is $21.79. Don't you think in this year we should up that and suggest to the council that possibly that hourly rate be increased a little bit?
It has been.
When?
Going forward.
When?
For the new year.
The rate is determined. It's our hourly rate factoring in our benefits, and finance provides us with the rate each year.
Okay, so it has been updated.
Oh, you do.
No, I provided the thing. It's based on our financial. It's a full loading of that position, all the fringe benefits, plus the amount of time they have.
Okay.
Having run several profit centers, I'm well aware how to
All right.
spread out the.
All right, as long as you believe it's equitable.
Yeah, it was too low. I agree with you, and we had it changed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so meeting is adjourned unless anybody has something else they'd like to bring up.
So moved.
Thank you.